evening, everybody. We are back. He's feeling better, and he's still the sexiest motherfucker I know. Welcome to WrestleZone Unfiltered, episode 39. But tonight, we got to pay homage to the past. We are coming in hot. I feel I got the Santa Claus hat because, man, we got some special people coming on here. And I got my ho-ho-hos going, man. We the Godfather rolling in the train tonight to pay homage to the way the All Elite Zone podcast network got started. Paul, I know you and I both came in kind of on the ass end of all this, and here we are. You know, I'd never cheat on you, but I got some fond memories of the folks that I did this with, and I have a lot of fun with you. And without this place, man, I would not have, we wouldn't have came across each other. And there's just a lot of stuff I've been able to do because, Connor wrote me in. How'd you get you into this?
I think it was an innocent little Facebook post where he's like, "Hey, I'm looking for people, blah, blah, blah." And I use the term background loosely, is doing those fantasy leagues and stuff like that. So I just thought, oh, maybe I can show you guys how to do it and it'll spiral from there. And he's like, well, let's just have you on. And then it was like, okay, come and go a little bit because I was training at the time. And this year it was like, oh, I got Thursdays free. So let's hammer this home.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I've had so much fun meeting you. It's been a blessing in disguise. That I've told this story before, and then I'll get somebody on here. But when Connor reached out to me, it was kind of the same thing, Facebook post, and we kind of went back and forth, and we've talked about stuff I've had going on in my life for the past few years, and the last thing I needed, because and I love wrestling. If we didn't, we would not be here. None of us would. But the last thing I needed was to sit there and argue with toxic wrestling fans because they didn't like my opinion. And I didn't want to sit there and argue back and forth with a bunch of people. And he kind of slowly graduated me into it. And like the first time I got on, the people were so great, and that will be mentioned here later. And they were so nice to bring me in. And there was a couple of shitty comments from over here in the comment section here and there, but nothing that really got me. And it's like I did it long enough to go, man, it's wrestling, get out of your own head and move on, have some fun with it. And here we are. So without any further ado, adieu, if you will.
Adieu.
The man, the myth, the man that started it all. There he is. Hello, Connor. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing all right. How are you? How are you doing?
Well, we doing well. It's we went from snow and 8 degrees last week in the first part of this week to 62 degrees outside. So I got this hoodie on and I'm sweating, but it's all good, man. We had to miss last week. Paul and his punani was hurting a little bit, so we had to take a week off. But we've been pretty steady and pretty good about it all. So but we are just so thankful for you to to have you on here. And just tell us, well, first tell everybody where you've been at.
Yeah.
Where you been hiding?
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of other things. I did come back onto the Wild World of Wrestling for Johnson's last match. Me and Mr. Jacobs did that. But I've kind of taken a break from wrestling for a good while now. I couldn't tell you what's going on in wrestling right now. It's so much I haven't watched. I've done a lot of other things in my life. Got into some things I used to like. I look to be back on a more regular basis now. There's not too much exciting stuff I've been doing. I still check on the show every once in a while, just to make sure everything's in order.
Yes, sir, boss. Yes, sir, boss. We following orders.
Yeah, we're doing good. We're trying hard.
Yeah, there's nothing much that I've been doing. I don't know. That's pretty much it. But it's great to be back on. I look to be back on a more regular basis, as I said. Yeah.
Well, you should be on top of the world. Your man is holding the world heavyweight title. His wife is back on TV. Involved in all different kinds of storylines. We don't know which way he's going. So, a lot of interesting things going on. I mean, everybody's got their own view of today's product, but you got your man front and center.
You would think I would be more excited for that. I do like that Punk is world champion again, but he's the only thing that's keeping me watching wrestling. If I do watch, I don't think he's defended the title once. Like if he defended the title more, I'd be watching stuff more. But he's pretty much the only thing I watch in wrestling now. I actually watched Survivor Series because of Larry, his dog, because he passed away. I watched Survivor Series only because of Punk. So he's pretty much the only thing I watch. Like I watch TNA with a friend of mine. Like we'll watch it on Thursdays. Yeah, I know everyone's got their opinions on the product. I don't have a say so in it, I guess, because I haven't been watching. So.
Well, I didn't see Cena's last match till like 3 o'clock in the morning. And let's get everybody on here, you know, and then we'll touch out real quick. But once we get everybody going and everything, but
we'll start fighting as soon as ever the whole family's here.
Yes. And you know, Connor was saying he did the live reaction with the one and only 5-star man. There's Mr. Jacobs. How you doing there tonight, sir? Glad to have you on, man. Every time I try to get you on here, you're working on Thursdays or something. So
thank you for having me on, man. I'm happy to be back. Yeah, I'm trying to get Thursdays free nowadays because I want to be back on more often because I enjoy the product. I have my issues with it too, but we'll get there. But yeah, I'm glad to be back.
Well, if you're free on Thursdays, we're always here, man, and I'll be sure I shoot you that link every Thursday if you can. We'd love to have you. And nothing would be complete without our resident Canadian heel.
Hey, everybody.
How you doing?
I was actually able to make it this Thursday. Good to see you all.
Absolutely. We are trying. I got a couple more that might be joining us. Now, before we go any further, give a quick shout out to Matt, former host of AEZ Canada, another one of your Canadian mates. He was unable to be here, but he said he would like to, you know, try to do something here soon just to get on and talk with everybody and say hello once again. But he did say to tell everybody hello, and he was sorry he could not make it. So, Hammer, how you been, sir?
I've been all right. Yeah, just life is just kind of chugging along, and we're almost done with 2025, which has been kind of a meh year in wrestling, but I guess that's what we're here to discuss, right?
Well, that and just the fun that we've had doing this and how we got started. So, actually, I'm going to go back here and go around the horn a little bit. You know, Connor was telling us, we didn't really get there. He's telling us what he's been doing. So, try to back up a little bit. Connor, how'd you come up with this idea to get all this going? Because you were the founding father there, sir.
Yeah, it was 2018. I started to get out of wrestling a little bit. Started to watch TNA a lot more. People probably heard this story a million times. But I watched other podcasts called TNI, Total Nonstop Impact. So some of their people has been on here. And AEW started. So AEW was this new thing. I was really excited for it. I was a big fan of AEW at that time. I thought to myself, what if I did something like they're doing, but just do it AEW branded? They're TNA branded, so I'll just do what they're doing by AEW. So that's basically how I came up with the idea. I talked with them on how they did everything, and I basically picked the same stream platform we're doing, StreamYard. I did my own edits, my own thumbnails, everything. And then we started out with just what was it, Dynamite, our live reactions. Then we did Rampage and Collision, and then we did pay-per-views, and then we had a talk show, which was first talk show was Talking Elite, which was started by Lane, and then later picked up by Adam, and then now we have WrestleZone. But that's basically how I started, and I was always into YouTube stuff with my own channel, which was originally AEW Fan Guy. So I had some experience in the YouTube stuff, so I wasn't new to it. I'm used to being able to talk in front of people and stuff, so that wasn't really a problem. The very first person, because they have a whole cast of people, so I knew I needed some people. The first person I thought of was Mr. Jacobs. He did his own YouTube stuff.
Well, I mean, he called the 5-star man for nothing.
Yeah, we started
Thank
talking.
you very much.
We did one collab on a YouTube video years back. It was like the top 5 Bullet Club members or whatever. And we slowly started to get to know each other. So I asked him, Chris. I don't know how I asked him. He just happened.
Chris is a name that I have not heard. So And before you finish, real quick, I got something I got to do. Speaking of getting excited and speaking of the elite, it is none other than our very own resident diva, Chicago gal, hunting for Wardlow, but yet she's still the Young Bucks' biggest fan.
I was just gonna say
Danny is here with us.
Oh my gosh, I've got
welcome
Mr.
back.
Aber with me, and the second greatest Canadian next to Ethan Page and Edge, Paul, and I've got Mr. Jacobs, and I've got Connor, and my favorite DJ. Oh my God, this is great. I do want to say, though, that we made a small breakthrough. I have more respect for the Bucks than I do for Gunther. That doesn't mean, gentlemen, that I like them. However, at least they try to be entertaining, where Gunther is like the angry waiter server in catering that's pretended to be a pro wrestler.
Well, we'll get to that now. We'll get to that in just a little bit, but I will tell you, I did listen to some of that podcast that Cody Rhodes did with Cena the 2 days after that. It's very enlightening on a lot of that. So before anybody wants to, hang Triple H out to dry or talk, how bad Gunther is, go listen to that. And it might change your opinion. All right, Connor, go ahead. Just, you got Chris and then Mr. Jacobs and then Chris. Pick it up. Where'd you go from there?
Yeah, we had Mr. Jacobs was the very first person I thought of. Like, he'd be the go-to person to ask. Chris is a friend of mine. I don't know how in the hell he got on here. He just happened to be on here.
We love you, Chris.
Chris is Chris.
Chris, I don't know you, but we all love you too.
Chris, hi, Chris.
If you can't tell by the comments, everybody loves Chris. He was just Chris, and a lot of people interested in some of the stuff I create. That's how we got a lot of our subscribers, was because of Chris. Everybody came because of Chris. But didn't we? Who else? Adam slowly joined around 2023.
Lance was in for a while, or Lane, not Lance. Lane was here for a while.
Oh yeah. Lane was in here. He started talking elite. He's the person who started that whole thing. Adam picked it up. We had Carly on here. She was our very first female to ever be on here, because a lot of females did not. I tried to get one female on here because a lot of people were asking for, a lot of women viewers. A lot of women did not want to be on here for whatever reason, from what I learned, because they were just afraid to be on here talking about wrestling. Carly was our first person on here. That ended. I'm not going to speak on that, but she was great. We had Emily. She was our second. Danny was our third. Yeah, we eventually started AEZ Canada. That was originally going to be AEZ UK. That exploded. But Canada has a lot of wrestling history. So if you're not going to go with the UK, Canada is the perfect choice.
And it has Paul too. I mean,
yeah.
Can't ask for anything else.
Now, the first people on AEZ Canada, I can't remember. It was a whole group of them. A lot of them left, and then Matt picked it up. Hopefully that will get going again soon. But Talking Elite was something that we had over almost 100 episodes of Talking Elite. Lane did like the first 30, and then Adam did the last 60, I believe. Yeah, it just slowly grew with different people coming in and out. We had Mark on here. That was a learning experience. Who else? I don't want to leave anybody out. Adam. Probably the most loyal person I've ever had was Mr. Jacobs, probably, though. The one I could always count on. If I had to give that award to anybody, Mr. Jacobs. Then slowly Jason.
With the MVP award, here you go.
Yeah, that would probably be the MVP.
We did this, y'all. We did this.
Speech.
There was there was a time where I thought that I was going to end this all when a few other people left. There was the whole shabam, but he was the one that always stuck by me. So that would always be Mr. Jacobs. But Adam was another one. When Talking Elite almost ended, he picked up the show. He took it for a while. He's there was some behind the scenes issues, so we had to end that, and that's how we came up with WrestleZone Unfiltered. Jason and Paul's done a great job with it, from what I've seen. I like a lot of the thumbnails that you guys have made. Very, very creative stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome stuff.
Yeah,
Jason's sense of humor, though, I mean, it's priceless.
I guess that's one word for it.
I stopped in here a few times and heard some things.
It's all Paul's. It's all Paul's fault. He throws that little line out, and I just grab it and go with it. So.
And I thought I was bad.
Yeah, that's basically how I started this all. It was the simple idea of TNA. If TNA wouldn't have held my interest in the bid of 2018, I don't know if, technically, if AEW wouldn't have started, I don't know if this would have ever happened. Because that's how it grew. Because I like TNA, but I didn't really feel like creating a whole channel based off of it. But AEW was a new thing, something hot. So, and I really liked AEW in the beginning. So
come next year, they'll be able to talk a lot more TNA if anybody wants to, because they're going to AMC on I think January 26th is the first date. I might have the date wrong, but I know it's January. January. What'd you say, Amber?
15th, I think.
15th. Okay.
It's Thursday, right? Yeah, so it's January 15th.
Yeah, Thursday. So basically, we'll get a wrestling show just about every night of the week again.
Unfortunately, so.
And if all else fails, if you flip enough through channels, you'll find some kind of WWE documentary floating somewhere on a night with no wrestling. So,
what is the channel that holds the WWE archives? What is that channel called?
It's still on Peacock right now.
But what's the
Peacock.
It's still on Peacock right now.
What's the one with like they have like different shows?
The A&E.
Oh, A&E, yeah.
Yeah, A&E.
They got
that's right.
Before
and if you go on
Future
YouTube,
Legends or some shit like that.
If you go on YouTube, I think it's called the WWE Vault. They have a lot of those.
They got the Vault
video DVD kind of documentaries.
Now, I will say I found that treasure hunting show pretty interesting. I did enjoy that.
Yeah,
watching them go around and find a lot of that old stuff. I found that rather interesting.
That was fun.
Finding when they were looking for a lot of Piper stuff, and they finally went to his house, and his daughter's like, "Yeah, you're not going to find that anywhere, but right here." And she pulls out the box that had his leather jacket and just all kinds of stuff in there, and I'm just like, "Oh, Roddy." But
right.
Yeah.
So, Amber, how'd you get involved in all this?
I started following the podcast, and I got notifications on Facebook and things like that. And this was a time when I was working on my own channel, which was dedicated to the TV show Mission Impossible from way back in the 60s and the revival in the late 80s. And I had just gotten more and more interested in, being part of podcasts and learning more about how they work and getting more involved. And I had also rejuvenated my interest in wrestling. So I'm like, hey, this is something I could do. So I reached out to Connor, and the rest, as they say, is history. Because I think that was right at the time when you were looking for for Canadians basically to be part of the All Elite Canada show, right? Yeah. So just good timing, really.
Yeah. So I mean, it just keeps. I can't believe that we missed some weeks right at the beginning of this, right? I don't know, like weeks 8, 9, whatever. We missed a few, so we could be pushing 50 on this right now, but you talking about Adam, I sent an invite out and he said he would try. So I'm not sure if we might see him before the end of the night. I hope we do. But, you go back to him doing Talking Elite. And I mean, there was, I went back, looked at that stuff. There were several times that, he did a show by himself because nobody else was available. And y'all saw what I did last week. I'm like, hey, Paul's sick. We'll be back next week. I mean, so, I might be interested when I got somebody to feed off of, but I'll sit there by myself. I'll be like, all right, this happened. I'm out.
I've done that a few times on some live reactions. It's tough to do, but if you have a lot of people in the comments, you can kind of bounce off of them and create some conversations. But
a live reaction I might be able to do by myself simply because I got something to talk about watching the matches, and the comments would be there as well. But just to go on there and do a report, Joey Styles, I am not. So, Danny, how'd you get started?
Oh, I was thinking about that as Amer was talking, and I think I might have posted something in one of the groups, and Connor just messaged me, and we started chit chatting. Don't know what it was. Don't remember what it was about. It was probably an insult about the Bucks. Who knows?
Go
But
figure, right?
yeah, but yeah, that's kind of how I got started. And I know that I haven't been around a lot. Work is just my job. I've been there 7 months. So I haven't broken anything and everything's good, but it's a classroom on steroids. So it's like a lot more than me like teaching a bunch of 2-year-olds. It's a lot more. So it keeps me pretty busy. But my New Year's resolution is to stop insulting Packer fans, to stop insulting the Bucks, and to get out here a lot.
Yeah, but that takes away all your charm.
Well, it does. I mean, yeah, I'll insult Packer fans when the Bears win on Saturday.
Go Bears.
Oh,
Well,
damn.
I mean,
Go Bears.
well, I mean that would put them 1-1, being they they did lose the last one. That's they've had a great turnaround this season. And just really off topic for a second. What grade are you teaching, Danny?
I actually am teaching infants all the way up through 3-year-olds.
Well,
So I do home. Yeah, I do home visiting for Head Start.
All right, give you.
Oh.
And all you guys can laugh at this because y'all talk about my warped and twisted sense of humor. Well, my wife she's a middle school teacher, and a couple months back she came home and had such a rough day. What's the matter? Oh, we had 13 people out, and we are so understaffed on subs.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just looking at me and batting the eyes. I'm like, what do you want? Jason, you got 2 degrees. Okay, and your point. And after I get it because I work from home. Everybody knows that. And, I can kind of do what I do any time of the day. So, I signed up to be a substitute teacher. And my first day was last Wednesday in middle school, which I thought would be a day here and a day there. And again, my first day was last Wednesday, and I have been there every flipping day since.
And you've survived. How much have you drank when you got out of school?
You know what? The kids have been great. I mean, I did a 6th grade class the first day. The rest of them have been 7th. And I'll be honest with you, it's not the kids that I worry about as it would be with the full-time teachers. It would be the parents that says little Johnny never does any wrong.
Yes.
Those would be what get under my skin. So.
Yes, I actually have had that a few times working with 2-year-olds. And I remember one off topic, but kind of piggybacking on what you're saying. I remember teaching a 2-year-old room, and this 2-year-old had the nerve to slap me across the face because I wouldn't let her run away from me because we were trying to go inside. And Mom and Dad were like, well, we don't understand why she is the way she is or what we're doing wrong. And I just remember it's been cold up here in Wisconsin as well. And I remember it was below 0, so we couldn't go outside. And I told my then boss, I'm like, we're having an issue with her. My boss goes, you're going to have to talk to Mom. And I said, with all due respect to the 2 of you, if I get on that phone and when I hang up the phone, you will be terminating my employment because I'm going to tell them what they need to hear. And it was a simple of, when you tweeze your eyebrows or brush your teeth, look in the mirror and see if the problem is you as the parent for you not putting your foot down.
And see, that's a great segue into the question for Connor. What are some of the biggest heated moments on here? Because I've never had any issues. I've never seen any, but I've heard you talk about some. So go ahead, enlighten us on some heated issues on here.
The biggest stuff was around the All Out 2022. That was the biggest stuff. I'm a big CM Punk fan, and I was going to stand by on my stance on that. I remember it was talking to the league. It was like 10 of us in here. It was 1 against 9. I felt like my opinion against the rest of them. So that was probably the most heated moment in here. It got a little personal, a little bit, not too personal, but that was probably the most heated thing on here. When Mark was on here, it was always something.
Oh, now, is that show still on the YouTube channel?
Talking to Lee.
The that episode with.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's still there.
All right, now see, now you're gonna go make me find it because I keep asking Paul for clips. You know, if some 5,000 Hindu squats or some of him working or at this point I'd take a video with him jerking off. Just to have something to post. And,
Those do not exist.
Oh my God, I missed this.
That's not what the cat told me when she walked in the room the other day. But I digress.
You gotta pay the subscription for those.
But I'm going to go back and find that one so I can clip a few things of
I'm not sure what episode that
the
was.
1-on-9 tag team match.
It was when Lane.
I can also bring up another time we had a heated. It was very heated, but it wasn't really between all of us. It wasn't really between all of us. It was all of us versus someone else. The first interview we were supposed to have, Justin.
Oh yeah.
That asshole took the money and ran. And let me tell you something. You can go back and watch. I shot a fucking promo on that asshole. Connor didn't want to. He was being nice. But
do tell us who is the asshole? Did I miss it? Who was that? Who are we talking about?
That's just incredible. Incredible.
Is that the one where he was supposed to do the interview, took the money, and never showed up or something?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Man, and the thing is that Connor didn't want to say anything. He was being nice about it, at least on the air. But I didn't give a damn. I was like, fuck you, you fat fuck, you druggy fuck. I mean, I went.
You pulled a Samoa Joe. It's like you gave me a live mic.
See, that was our first show ever on here, so I didn't know how to handle that. I really, really liked Just Incredible. I was like, he was the perfect person I wanted. If I would have known how he was, I would have never booked him. But that calls me to every time I book someone for an interview, I don't pay them until they're actually on here, and then I pay them. I don't do it. I don't do it beforehand.
See, I wished I'd have been there because I'd have been right beside you, Mr. Jacobs, going, if we'd have got stiffed by, let's say, Flair or a DDP or something, okay, whatever. But we just got stiffed by Aldo motherfucking Montoya.
You got stiffed
by
the person with the underwear rat-faced.
How credible was Justin if he never did anything incredible?
Exactly.
He was
I remember I called him just undependable. I remember that.
He was the proto Roman Reigns. He was the guy that was shoved down everyone's throat way before.
Exactly. He was hyped up, man.
And the thing afterwards, he said that we never booked him and we false advertised and
yes, he accused us of screwing him over, dude. I was like, what?
But we had there's text messages, there's text of us communicating with each other, and to find out we're not the only podcast that he's scammed over the years.
Scammed the floodgates opened.
Oh, Danny is surprised by this?
I'm just like,
oh, you should go look. Go look at Maven's thing.
Oh, yeah.
Maven found just incredible and like say, hey, buddy, what's up? And Maven was like, hey, maybe give him a chance. And then Maven ends with like, well, I was wrong. Yeah. He screwed other people too. I set him up with something and he messed that up. He's made a habit.
I gave him the benefit of the doubt.
Because the moment, Mr. Jacobs sent me that, and I watched it, and he was saying that it was all the YouTubers' fault. And he was I was bullcrap.
It is. He basically said, look, I needed the money to feed my family. I needed it more than you guys did.
So he's basically having a Nikki Bella moment where Nikki Bella came back because she's broke and needs relevancy. Oh, but wait, she really wants something to sleep with now that Cena's married.
What a segue there.
I will say in her defense, when she come out was 2 weeks ago, and Raquel Rodriguez knocked her off the apron and she was just laying there selling like she was knocked out. She still got a great ass. That's a good place for her. You let her lay on the outside of the ring and the cameraman like zoom in on her ass about every minute and a half. Yeah, I'm good with that. We found a job for Nikki Bella that she's good at.
I must say she looks great. Like she, you can't even see any signs of aging. I want to know what she uses for skincare. Because she does.
With that much money, you can kind of use anything you want. But I'll tell you
again, everybody used her. Ziggler,
Oh shit.
you know,
Is
God knows.
your shoot on Just Incredible online too, Mr. Jacobs? That's still out there?
Oh yeah, it's there.
Okay,
It's
yeah, I'm,
all
a-
Yeah, I'm
there.
gonna
see,
need to
y'all-
watch that now.
I'm about to get a 2-week break. I just DJ'd my last Christmas party of the year last night, so I know what I'm gonna be doing for a few days. I'm gonna be going back deep in the archives and
Super
find some of these
edits,
clips
yeah.
that I can.
You can find a
Deep,
lot of
deep.
those about Just Incredible.
But I guess
And,
the final chapter of that was I went to a wrestling event in Memphis, Tennessee, and he was going to be there. Now he doesn't only he doesn't only scam podcasters; he scams promoters too.
Yep.
I knew a promoter, and I went to the event because I wanted to meet Just Incredible. The promoter never said he scammed him, but he scammed him because he never showed up. And then later on a Facebook page, he said that he scammed him out of $2,000. For one, Just Incredible is not worth $2,000. And
Yeah.
he scammed him out of $2,000 that whole thing. He was coming near me. I didn't know if he was going to show up, but I really wanted to confront him face to face. I wasn't afraid to. And Chris went with me, and he was scared that we were going to get kicked out and everything, because I wasn't going to let my guard down, you know.
Right.
And I didn't just go there for him. There were some other wrestlers there too. So if
But
he
you
didn't
wanted to
show up,
fight
at
as
least
well. Yeah.
so like there were some other wrestlers there I wanted to meet as well. So if he didn't show up, at least I'm not going there for nothing. But he actually did show up. I don't know how in the hell they got him to show up, because he never shows up. I don't know how they got that to happen. But I went up to him. He was actually there. I went up to him and said, "Hey, do you remember me?" He had like he didn't know who I was, but I showed him the text messages and everything because I wanted him to sign my book. I don't feel like I have to pay for that at this point, because I feel like I already paid for that a few years ago.
Oh my god.
And then it was a whole thing. He at first he wasn't going to do anything, but I'd already talked to the promoter there, and he was basically trying to defend Just Incredible. I don't know how you can, but he ended up working it out. Just Incredible signed my book. I didn't pay a dime, and he didn't act like he was sorry at all. He was just there for the money because he was there.
Right.
He was there for a weekend. He did 3 shows that weekend. He went to Memphis and 2 places outside of Memphis. It wasn't far, so he basically was only doing it for the money. And that's how it ended. I'll never have anything to do with him. That was the end of our relationship, I guess. The final chapter of all that.
Well,
Fuck you,
let's move to a happier note, because I know I was not here for all the interviews that you guys have done, but you know, Barry Horowitz I was here for. He was tremendous. But I will say being on here with Kevin Von Erich made me feel like a kid again. And he was so gracious. He was so nice, even when his wife had to help him fix his tech problems. But yeah, I mean, that was, you know, I'm pretty sure I even said it to him. I felt like that 10-year-old kid watching World Class, sitting here talking to him. It was awesome. And that was all because of you and this show, man. And I appreciate it.
Yeah, I was there for that too. That was great.
Now, every interview we've had has been great, besides our first. And it really messed our reputation up a little bit, I felt like, because our first interview, we said that we're going to have this person on here, and we don't have him on here. You know, it kind of makes us look like we're not legitimate. But every interview after that, we nailed. We had Amber Nova, we had some indie people like Brooke Havoc, we had Sabu on here, we had
Ahmed Johnson.
We had
Nick Dinsmore was a good one too.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
one I wish
yeah.
I'd have been on for. I'd like to have been on for that one. I forgot I was doing something, but I
Yeah,
forgot what I was doing, but I couldn't make that one.
We had Brandon Cutler on here. That was interesting. We had Blue Meanie on here.
Good
Yeah,
old
That was
Brian.
awesome.
But our most viewed and most popular interview is our Kevin Von Erich interview. That's probably the most popular one that we've ever had.
Yeah, that was
Pope,
if I
can't leave out
remember
the Pope.
correctly. With
Forgot about him.
with the time, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was right after the movie had came out, correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
it wasn't too long ago that because we asked him questions about the movie. Yeah, like it wasn't too far from the movie when it came out.
And if he's listening to this, I know I told you this on the interview, but if you can work it out with whoever you need to work it out with, and give us that 5-pack of the Von Erichs as figures, you know, I got space back here I can find to put it. You know, you'll get my
Wow.
money if you can get me a 5-pack of the Von Erichs, man. And I don't want Zac Efron as Kevin Von Erich.
Oh God.
You
Damn,
do Zac
man.
Efron.
Have you guys seen those things? Those are awful. Ugh.
And we had his two sons on not long after.
Mhm.
I don't know who scheduled their interviews, but I was talking to them because I believe he has a daughter or but wasn't there a Von Erich in TNA and she was a woman?
Lacey.
Lacey.
Carrie's
Lacey.
daughter.
That's
Yeah.
Carrie's daughter.
We were trying to work that out, but she doesn't do anything with wrestling anymore. She doesn't live by them, so yeah. There's I don't know who would be my favorite interview, but Sabu was up there. That was a wild interview.
That was.
If you know Sabu, you know he is wild, but that was he didn't hold back on anything. It was a very unscripted interview.
Love that guy, man.
And
R.I.P.
that's kind of where we're trying to head to. You talk about bring up the indie guys. It's kind of where Paul and I've been trying to steer this. You know, we had Jesse Daniels on from around the Richmond area. Tried to get him on tonight. I don't know if he's going to make it or he might pop in later. You never know. I
have one for whenever our next. I know Christmas is coming up, but I have one more.
Yep. So he's had two from his promotion that he's brought on. And actually was it 2 or 3?
Sawyer Dalton and it was Curtis Awesome. So
yeah.
it's
So
2,
we had
and then the next one will be the third different one. Yeah.
So yeah, we know that. And you know, so if you guys run across any indie performers that would like to get on and introduce us to them and their brand and stuff like that, that's kind of where we're trying to take it. And
Sweet.
Get have us introduced to their audience, them introduced to ours. And did you guys interview Buddy Matthews and Alex Shelley too, or?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
There's some people that we've had on. We had Eric Rowan on here one time. Buddy Matthews and Alex Shelley. Both of those interviews were great. I don't want to miss anybody, but we've interviewed quite a few people that it's hard not to forget.
Yeah, it's been a lot. Yeah,
it's okay. We'll cut some montage.
But Buddy
the eyes of an angel.
I'm surprised I didn't mention Buddy Matthews and actually because those are my favorites. I'm surprised I didn't remember that. But
well, I mean, you said you started this in 2018, right?
Well, I got the idea for it in 2018, 2019, but we didn't start this till 20. It was around Thanksgiving, Christmas time, 2021.
Yeah, I believe so.
I would say.
Well, I mean, that's still a lot to try to recall, and in the last 4 plus years of putting it together, then starting it, and different shows, different cohorts, different interviews, different platforms. I mean, but I mean, no, man, you have done a phenomenal job, and we appreciate you. Whether you get on here or not, we'd love to have you on all the time. But just sitting there in the back, making sure that that your children are minding their manners. So we appreciate all you do, man, and everything you've done to keep this going.
Yeah, I didn't think anyone would pick it up if I stopped, but clearly 2 people have picked it up. Me and Mr. Jacobs did. We've done some stuff on the Wild World of Wrestling. I haven't been on there either much. I got out of wrestling because a lot of people. I was tired of arguing with people, not on here, but wrestling fans in general. And I just had enough.
X mainly, yeah.
I had enough, and it pissed me off. I was done. I was not going to be watching wrestling, and I stuck by because I don't remember when my last time. It was like it was before SummerSlam. Like it's been months since I've watched anything in wrestling. Well, not months now because I watched the John Cena stuff, but it got to the point where they were messaging me, sending me death threats and stuff like this, and I was done. Well, once it got to that point, I was done. Like, you can't voice your opinion as a wrestler. Like I've been in all kinds of entertainment, basketball, TV shows. Wrestling fans are by far the worst type of group of fans that cannot agree on to disagree on anything. Like if you have a different opinion, you're going to be shot down. It's just a whole army coming after you. But
well, I understand they're toxic, but I wouldn't say first. I would say they're a close second to the Philadelphia Eagle fans.
If we're
yeah.
gonna start
The
arguing,
Raiders fans.
Marvel
Wrestling
fans are
sports
pretty
teams
bad,
have
but
pretty bad fans.
wrestling
Well,
fans
I don't know if you guys,
up
I don't know if it's in their new stadium or not. I can't see why it wouldn't be, but I know in their old one, there was actually a jail under the stadium where they would arrest so many people.
For the
Yeah, I heard of
Eagles-
yeah.
The Eagle Stadium?
there. Well, that just sounds like a
Yeah.
good time. I don't know what you guys
Interesting.
are.
So I don't know if
Right.
I don't know if they kept
I
that
think it's like a
tradition with the
drunk
new
tank or
stadium.
something
But
like that.
yeah, the old one had a jail up underneath that they would throw some of those people that were a little on the intoxicated side, fighting, pulling opposing teams' jerseys off people.
Is that the opposite of how hockey was invented? It was like big jail, lots of people in it, instead of small jail, just a couple of people in it.
I know a lot of sports, like the Boston Celtics, like they have some of the worst fans, but they've had a lot of success over the years. So, but wrestling fans,
Well, sports to me is one thing. This has always been my thing with wrestling. It's like if you got somebody over here that likes DC and somebody over here likes Marvel, they don't argue about it. It's like, you like Batman, I like whatever.
I've never seen a fist fight over Big Bang Theory.
Right, exactly.
Great point.
Sheldon's my favorite. No, I like Howard. No, I like no. You're right.
See,
That's
actually-
my point that I try to
hate
get across to
Big
these
Bang.
dumbasses.
I love Young Sheldon, so I'm in the camp of Young Sheldon's better than Big Bang, and that'll start a fight right there.
Well, Connor, you got another question down here. Who was the hardest person you've had to deal with in all this?
Oh yeah, they're not watching this, so I can say it. Mark.
Yeah, they ain't watching.
Mark, most definitely.
Oh my god!
It was something every time.
Was that the guy that you removed or banned? I think.
Oh, then he kept wanting to come back
Something.
on. I think I came in on the tail end of that.
Yeah, it was 2023 or 24. It was the World's End pay-per-view, and that was the final thing. So MJF lost against Samoa Joe. I can't remember what year that was, but he didn't like none of us liked it, but
yeah, none of us liked the ending.
Him and Siren got into it a little bit, but this was after the show had went off the air. And he cussed us all out for whatever reason.
You didn't cuss me out. Shit.
Nobody did anything to him.
No, because you would have cut a promo on him.
But the one thing about him is he drank a lot on air.
He would, oh my god.
I think I remember this.
Yeah, because he would get on the air plastered drunk, man.
I just remember seeing something and I was like, wait, what? And then
he passed out on the air once.
Start using people as scratching posts for Connor, which I would have done.
I remember he passed out on the air once. We were sitting there talking, and it was going towards the end of the show, and dude just passed the hell out. I'm like, hello.
I almost fell asleep once on air, Jason, if you remember that, when I was at my sister's. I don't remember when that was, but I worked that I literally got up at
was drunk off his
5 o'clock in the morning. And then by the time we were doing the show, Jason thought I was sleeping on air. I'm just laying on my sister's bed, all cozy and comfy.
Yeah, I was like, damn girl, you all right? You still with us? Trust me, I felt your pain Monday morning. I had like I said, last week I did Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of Christmas parties. And if anybody ever worked late nights, you know how it is. You get home, you can't go right to bed. You have to wind down. So I got home about 1:30 in the morning, laid down probably about 2:45, and had to turn around and get back up at 6 to go teach middle schoolers. Yes, Monday was a fun day. And Connor, we're down here. I don't know who you're not mentioning, but Riley wants to know why aren't you mentioning certain people?
Who am I not mentioning?
I think you mentioned the most controversial person.
Mark was Chris was. A little bit, but he never got drunk on air and then fall out. Chris was just funny. That was. I don't know.
I couldn't. I don't know. There's anyone else that we had any animosity with, really. Anybody else that left the show, it left on kind of an equal, peaceful way. It wasn't like fuck you, go, start your own shit. With the majority of the people that were on the show, they just disagreed with a lot of the opinions that were given on the show, and they were like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I'm like, fine, okay, you don't want to be on the show anymore, you want to start your own thing, whatever. Okay, fine, no animosity. But then there are those certain ones that wanted smoke, and they got it, in some form or fashion.
We want the smoke.
I know Mark was the main one.
Mm-hmm.
It was in every stream thing. It just at first he'd be fine. Once he started drinking, then it just escalated every single damn time. But the one person, I guess, if we want to mention, Aiden was on here. I like Aiden. It was his decision to leave.
Yeah.
But there wasn't anything. Now, me and him did get into some arguments on here, but it was wrestling based. It wasn't anything like that.
It's never personal.
Siren, I didn't have any problems with her.
No.
I'm sorry.
She runs her own little empire, though, really. I mean, she has her own thing going.
I mean, she brought a lot of people to us. She was responsible for a lot of our growth a little bit. Because she had her own.
There's a lot of back of scene stuff, behind the scenes stuff as well. She does a lot of that.
Yeah, from what I see, she's doing a lot of Twitch. If I see that.
Yeah, that's her main thing. And she came over here, and
that's
then,
her bread and butter.
A lot of her audience came over here, but she we just drifted apart. Well, there was one episode. It was me, Mr. Jacobs, and her, and me and her maybe got into it a little bit. But
yeah, disagreement, really.
It was just over wrestling. It wasn't anything like what we discussed earlier. But I've enjoyed everyone. Like even the people that left on their own doing, I still respect them. You know, Aiden and Carly and all them. I don't want to bash anyone on here, but Mark, I will, because he went online and tried to sort of lie about certain things that we've ignored him, but we did ignore him because he was blasting all over our phones, and it kind of got stalkerish a little bit. So we just ignored him. You know, we're not gonna, as I always say, don't feed into the trolls because he was one of them. I don't know. That's just how it ended. Once he cussed everyone out that one time, that was it because nobody wanted him on here. And I never told him that because I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but I was the only one making an effort to get him on here. Jacobs didn't want him on here. Siren didn't want him on here. Adam didn't want him on. Like nobody wanted him on here except me trying to make things better. But
I think where people miss the boat, besides the ones that just want engagement, because people are trying to make money off Facebook, and they'll do anything they can to start an argument just to get those comments going back and forth and have other people jump in. But
how could you say that right to my face?
I know, God damn it.
Give me a second.
The thing that people,
I'm lost to hearing. Hold on. Let me get out and come back. I cannot hear anyone.
Look, Jason, look what you've done. Every time we're on here, you always pull some stun like this.
Look, man, I have not hit one of my sample buttons in weeks. Okay.
Is that what you say at Costco too?
Well, he's trying to get that fixed. What I was saying is, it doesn't matter if it's old school stuff that I grew up on, the stuff Amber and I watched, years ago, or the new stuff. How boring would it be if everybody liked the same thing? I mean, how boring would baseball be if everybody was a Yankee or a Dodger fan, or football, pick a team, if everybody was a Green Bay or Chicago fan, Danny was talking about, her thing with the Green Bay fans. And it's like, that wouldn't exist if people didn't have different stuff they liked. And that's, it wasn't an argument that I had in the not comments, but in Messenger, I'm not going to mention her name. It's not, I don't want to start no shit, but I tried to be as polite as I could because she was talking about, it might've been the show that you guys were talking about that she was on with you, but how upset she was about some of the things that got said or whatever. And I just told her, I said, it's okay that your opinions differ. It's okay that, you like that and they didn't, or vice versa. That's what a podcast is. I mean, Paul and I disagree about half the shit we talk about and laugh about it. It's like, but that's the fun thing of it. It's not personal. And I don't know why people, besides the people that want the engagement, the ones that take it so personal, it baffles me.
No, and from an entertainer's perspective, if I disagree with you on something, I'm going to disagree with you in a way to sort of set you up so you can so we can keep talking. You know what I mean? Like that's a way that you can disagree and go, "Oh, so you like this? Well, tell me the reason why you like this." And we can, like when people just go, "No," cross their arms and tuck their chin, you don't get nothing. I like when you can say, "Oh, you enjoyed John Cena's retirement." Well, let's dive into it because I feel blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? You can get into the nitty gritty, but some people see that as like, oh, they were attacking me in my opinion. It's like, I wasn't. I was just trying to pick at it so you'd give me a bit more. You know what I mean?
Cena had a great line, and not, you have to go listen to it to get the full context of it. But he was talking to Cody on the podcast. He was talking about giving advice and, not coming across to the younger talent. He said he understood the older talent. Hell, he was now one. He was, the retired veteran, but not coming across to the younger talent of, the old guy that was whatever. He said, one of the things that he told the younger talent, instead of just going, slow down, kid, like you hear from a lot of the veterans, that he would have a conversation and explain to them that, if you're talking one way, if you go out there for 45 minutes and you're talking to the audience, if you're talking to them, you're going to lose half of them 10 minutes in, and then you're going to continually lose the rest of them. But if you're having a conversation with them, same with the match. If you're in a match, if you're having a conversation and letting them be involved in it, then that's, whether, and he kind of laughed. He said, whether you have 5 moves or, 105, he goes, if you can continue that conversation with the audience, you're going to bring them in. And that, to me, that's an excellent point Paul's making. It's a conversation. You don't have to like everything. You don't have to agree on everything. It's just, be a fucking human being. It's wrestling for God's sake.
Right. And don't make dirty comments either. Like how, and circling back to awful fans of teams, Packer fans are just like horrendous. And
that's not true. Don't you dare. How dare you?
Fight.
I was
go, Pat,
during
go.
the postseason, and I had on my Bears shirt, my Bears pants, and I'm grocery shopping. And some lady walks up to me. She's like, "The Bears, what?
The Bears,
no Bears."
She was one of these. Oh, I'm going to hide. I'm going to say something, but I'm going to hide behind Paul, and Paul's going to fight for me type thing. That she was the, I'm going to say something, but I'm going to hide behind my boyfriend or husband type. So big store, every aisle, she was, and I'm like, and I'm good with faces. I've worked retail. I've seen my customers, various retail jobs that I've been like, oh, hey, Danny, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while. Are you still working wherever? And I, finally said, I've noticed you say something about my shirt, and every time I've passed you, you've had a comment for me. I didn't even know who she was. And I said, you're like talking about me. So what is your problem with me, considering you don't know me? And I'm like, I'm from Chicago. If it's a problem with you, deal with it. I even, same store, I was called a fat, ugly bee for wearing a bear sweatshirt by this guy.
Now, see, I know Steve's only been on here a few times, but he's a big Packer fan, but he's not one of those people. But he's a huge Packer fan. I'll sit there and let y'all go back and forth. I just be entertained. I just keep my mouth shut and watch two of you go at it.
Yeah, and I agree. And Mr. Jacobs, I think you're the
not all Packer fans are made alike. Come on.
But I mean, not all of them are bad. But it's just like, you're gonna call me a fat, ugly bee for wearing a bear sweatshirt? Grow up.
Maybe they just don't like the Bears. Maybe
you can take a girl out of Chicago, but you can't take a Chicago out of the girl. Just like I will put ketchup on my hot dogs in city limits the way I did, and that's a cardinal sin in the city. It really is. Yeah. And I did it at the United Center for All Out 2023, and I didn't care, and I'll do it again.
Well, speaking of the Bears, this ties back into wrestling. Paul hadn't seen it yet. I keep telling him to watch it. But have any of you guys seen Seth Rollins on Good Morning Football?
Yeah, I saw it.
He is.
When is he on usually?
Well, he got, that man has got a career in media wherever he wants to go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I am not a big Seth Rollins character on WWE TV fan. The individual, and I'll tell you the on Halloween, if you want to see something funny, go back and find him on the Halloween show. They come out. The host, she's doing her costume. Kyle Brandt's dressed up like a referee. Manti Te'o was Troy Polamalu, and they're all sitting around. And then all of a sudden, the curtains open up, and the bear mascot comes out, and he's wearing a Mongo jersey, and it's the big fluffy bear wearing a Mongo, but he was in a sling. I said, that is fucking Seth Rollins, and he gets over there and he's doing his little dance, and then all of a sudden, he jerks the mask off with a good hand, and his theme music starts playing. But he's been on there several times. He's a big Bear fan, and if you ever watch him on Twitter, every time the Bears lose, he tweets the same thing. I hate fucking football.
I know, and I just hit him back, and I'm like, bro, you should buy the team.
But yeah, if anybody hadn't seen him, you can just Google some clips on Seth Rollins on Good Morning Football. He's hysterical. Okay. He does add to the show, and Connor, you don't have to answer this one if you don't want to, but Riley is asking why Siren left.
I wasn't really a definitive reason why.
She never really left. I mean, it wasn't like she was part of the. Thing is, it wasn't like she was meant to be a mainstay. I mean, her main thing was Twitch.
She normally came on for live reactions, Dynamite or Collision. Sometimes she even did it by herself because I had some stuff going on, and she would do them by herself. She helped out a lot. I've reached out to her when I was in the wrestling a little bit more to try to get her on here, but there wasn't really a definitive reason why she didn't really leave, but she did leave. I know she discussed some things that in her personal life that she couldn't come on as much, but it wasn't really a reason why.
We got love for her, man. We got a lot of love for her.
She just stopped coming on.
Yeah. All right, we'll dive into this real quick. I mean, I know we're going over some memories, but we've had a couple of people mention it. So, there's so. I will say this: I have not seen that much emotion be invoked as what Cena was able to invoke on Saturday night with his last match. It was rumored for months that Gunther was going to be his last opponent. Now, I was thinking they might take the jab at Goldberg and say Gunther beat Goldberg in his last match, but he couldn't beat Cena. I was kind of hoping for that one. The way I would have done it, take Gunther out of the equation, because to me, Gunther beating Cena was like Brock beating The Undertaker. Neither one of them needed that rub. That was my opinion. When he beat Dom for the Intercontinental title, I would have liked to have seen Dom go to the back and demand to be put in that tournament and then be the last one to face Cena and get his belt back and get that rub. But that's not the way it happened. And, I commenting how much Triple H got booed, and there's a lot of things he's doing that I don't particularly care for, but this one you can't really blame on him. If you watch at the end of the match when he comes out and everybody's booing him and he gets up on the apron and him and Cena are hugging, Cena's face is faced this way. The camera is on Triple H, and you see Triple H start smiling and laughing. And no, I was not in there, but I would put money on the fact that, they're sitting there whispering to each other, you hear this shit? We fucking got him. We fucking got him. And, so, and then if you watch Raw Monday night, Gunther passing AJ, outside, and AJ's done said this was going to be his last year. So I guess we're going to roll with Gunther retiring people for a while. I guess he'll be AJ's last opponent. That's the way that kind of looked happening Monday night. And I get why a lot of people didn't like it, but like I said, I implore you to go listen to Cena's interview with Cody 2 days afterwards. It might change your opinion. It might not, but no, I wasn't a big fan of the way it happened, but for God's sake, Cena was smiling when he tapped out. I mean, and everybody, the age old thing, the right thing to do is go out on your back and put somebody over, whether they need it or whether they need it or not. Like I said, I thought Bray should have been the one to beat Taker. Maybe Roman, because Roman hadn't been elevated to the tribal chief yet. You could have used that to elevate him as well. But it was Brock. He didn't need it, but that's what happened. Gunther didn't need that rub, but that's the way they did it. But
I think, go ahead, finish. Oh.
No, I was gonna say that's just Cena did the right thing. He went out on his sword, and he smiled, tapping out because he knew what he was doing for Gunther. Even though Gunther, to me, again, did not need it, but he was still giving him the, he was passing that torch on. So. You don't have to like it, but it was.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was done. Like, you don't have to like it, but it's just whether it was Gunther or Brock or Austin Theory or Dom, whoever he went out with the L, and that's what he's supposed to do.
I agree. I think that was probably the best part of it. It was storytelling. It was brilliant storytelling, and I think today's fans, they really don't want that. I don't think they really want storytelling. I don't think they don't want the match to breathe. They don't want, for me, I didn't see anything wrong with the ending of it. I thought it was brilliant the way it was done. It was a great ending to a great ending to his story, a great kind of bookend, if you will. I mean, and the thing was, not only was he doing something great for young talent coming up, passing the torch, it was something good for the business as well. And I think there's a lot of fans that don't see it that way because I think Michael Cole said it best. He said pro wrestling just beat sports entertainment. It was that line right there. That was brilliant shit right there. And for me as a wrestling fan, that was my money's worth. Like, you're seeing somebody on their last hoorah, the last ride out. I want to see them looking at the lights, and then when that match is over, they get that huge applause and they walk out into the sunset. That's what I want to see. And like, fans today are like so fickle about shit. You can give them gold and they'll find a way to shit on it.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And it's like you have to learn how to tune those people out and just enjoy what you enjoy. You know what I mean?
And, and Cena gave you those moments to where it looked like Super Cena was going to make the comeback. And, he did that 3 or 4 times before he finally tapped out. So regardless of who was in the match, I mean, I enjoyed the match. I mean, like I said, did I wish it would have been somebody else? Yeah, of course I do. I mean, I think most people did, but
I have a very specific observation about the end because people are talking about the finish, like the tap or whatever. Should he have? Someone told me that they should have protected John Cena more and not let him tap. And it's like, it's his retirement match. What are you protecting? Like, but anyway, okay. So my observation would be this tap didn't work visually. Like, it was sort of anticlimactic because I like the smile. He knew he was giving up. He knew this was the end. The tap out works. I think the tap out should have been on the mat somehow. Bang, bang, bang. Or it needs to be a clean finish on the back, and it needs to be that 1, 2, 3. Those are clear, decisive victories. I think this was the only. So you feel like he went out with a whimper? It's like the last note of a song. You know what I mean?
Okay, I see what you mean.
Like, the song's great, everything's great. For the metaphor, but I think him tapping out 100% should have happened. Gunther should have won. All this stuff is fine. I think it's just the limp wristedness of the it should have been more of a bang, bang, bang. Yeah. I'm tapping. I'm surrendering. More of a. I agree with that. Pronounced moment, I guess I should say.
Well, the thing too with that though, if you go back and watch it, every time Gunther got that sleeper locked in, you had 18,000 people chanting, "Don't give up, don't give up." Mm-hmm. And Cena has been so polarizing for the majority. Once he hit that main event status with the "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks," and he would never go heel because of the kids and the Make-A-Wish, and kind of a lot of the same things Hogan said earlier before he ever finally. I think the only reason he agreed to do to it was because his act had gotten so stale, and he needed that NWO shot to get people interested again. But
and Cena wasn't stale; he was stale.
But the crowd still popped for Cena. You still had that 50-50 pop for Cena. You were starting to, not only was Hogan starting to get boos with the yellow and red, but it was a lot quieter. But that's what I was saying. Cena was so polarizing with, when is the last time you can remember an entire building chanting for Cena and not getting the Cena sucks chants? I mean, so, all in all,
that's the Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
Like, you can't cheer for Kurt Angle without "you suck."
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, he might have not chose his opponent, but, if he hadn't wanted to tap out anything else, you can shit on Triple H for a lot of different things. And, but you got to remember a few things. He was not going to make Cena do anything he didn't want to do. And also, just because Vince McMahon isn't there there's still a lot of people over top of him telling him, you can write it, but this is what we want. And so I'm curious as to how that relationship might be, because he's starting to get all the criticism online, and is like, people are saying he needs to be fired. He's going to get fired, this, that, and the other. I mean, you might have to worry about him quitting. I mean, he doesn't need to work.
I mean, from what I hear, he doesn't have too much longer to be there anyway. So.
Yeah, I'm not.
There's been a lot of criticism, even on Twitter, and for me, it was like, okay, I grew up watching Hogan. Cena was like Hogan 2.0. I was, and I think Jason, you know this. I know Connor, Amer, you might. Mr. Jacobs, you probably don't. And I don't think, Paul, you do. But the last time I saw Cena was in Chicago for Payback 2014. I think that might have been Ryback maybe or something. I don't remember. And there was a little girl that was sitting next to me. I was talking with her mom. It was she was 7 years old. So she's now like, 18? Or, yeah, 18 now. And she, huge Cena fan. I'm the only woman that I knew of in that all-state arena yelling, John Cena sucks. And when Cena came around beginning like 2002, 2003, he struggled with a gimmick. He started doing the rapper. What was it at, like Halloween? And it stuck. But he just, to me, it was just like, okay, and so what? He's retiring, big deal. It was like, I felt like it was good, but the heel storyline was a complete waste. And if they would have turned him when they should have 2012, 2013, 2014, or kind of turn him into like a tweener, that would have been much better. But the whole tournament storyline, I'm like, oh my God, it's all about Cena. Then Gunther, on top of that, I'm going to hold up 3 objects. Stapler, my clothespins, my calculator. All 3 of them have more personality than Gunther. Gunther is just, to me, like, okay, he's got like that old school heel vibe, which I can see that, but he's just kind of And
well, as to where I don't disagree with you, Amer, I mean, tell me if you agree or not. To me, like back when we were coming up and watching it, if Gunther would have came along all those years ago, he would have been with like a Paul Jones or a Bobby Heenan or somebody like that, and he might have won the TV title or the national title, but he would not be in the main event scene. Kind of like to me, like here's a throwback, like a Baron von Raschke type character.
Exactly, that's exactly who I was thinking.
I can see that. Yeah.
I don't know. He'd be big enough that he could be part of the Monster Factory against Hogan and somebody like that. That's what I would think, and he's obviously foreign.
Oh, right? You're too young for this conversation.
Yeah, that's why I said, like, the Monster
he would definitely be a foreign
Hogan,
heel.
But
okay, well, you're talking maybe a bit before this. The only thing I'd add about the Cena thing for me is, I think Cena, and he's actually posted this, I've seen it, he's basically comparing his moment, doing this and smiling, to being Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's how he sees himself.
That was brought up in that. I don't remember what they said.
You know what? I mean, Paul, you can think about it how you like, but I think that may be what he was going for. It's like, you know what? I did what I had to do. Luke and Leia are together. I'm good. I'm tapping out. I'm going to become a Force Ghost now.
He's passing it down to the young Padawans,
Yeah, I mean, however you feel about it, and you can feel about it how you like. But I think that's maybe kind of how he sees it. Okay, I've done enough now. My time is up. Your time is now. And you can say that he's kind of, whatever, he's full of himself, however you want to see it. But I think that's how we saw it, and that's how
I will say this: as far as these retirement matches go, last matches, and he definitely brought the moment down by coming out and doing the shit he did in TNA. But I thought the way that they put Flair in retirement with Shawn Michaels, and then what they did for him on Raw the following night, which they did not do for Taker or anybody else when they retired. Flair got that huge WrestleMania push for the last match where, if he loses, he got to retire, which we all knew he was retiring. And then that huge thing on Monday Night Raw. And then, like I said, if he had just stayed retired, I mean, that moment's still iconic, but it would be a whole lot more iconic than it is because of.
But that's on Flair. That's not on WWE.
No, that's definitely on Flair.
Yeah, that's
He
not.
just
That's
couldn't
definitely
fuck
on
off.
Flair. I'm
you
just,
know?
like I said, as far as retirement matches go, final matches, I just like the way that one was laid out.
I agree.
It was emotional. And I
Yeah.
think too, what was interesting is that I kept waiting for somebody to come out and drop Gunther because there were rumors floating around that Gunther was not going to be the opponent that somebody was going to take. I don't know if anyone saw
Yeah.
that.
I saw that.
They,
Yeah.
they have the rumors going around that somebody was going to take him out. Personally, I thought Orton would have been a better fit for Cena's last match because he's got a history with Gunther, with Cena. Punk would have been ideal for the last match given the pipe bomb history. But I was just waiting for someone to come out and take out Gunther and take out Cena. Personally, I was hoping it was going to be Oba, but that didn't happen. And
Well, speaking of people from Cena's past, Tony Khan did an interview about a month or so ago, and I don't even remember who it was with. Y'all might know who it was with, but he was asked that question if WWE reached out about using Edge at all, and he actually responded with no. He goes, but if they would have, I'm sure we could have worked something out. And I'm like, oh, somebody finally put his business hat on and took his fucking fan hat off. No wonder the product's been a little bit better here lately.
there you go, and you don't know what that guy.
And, but all Elite Zone, I'll roughly get into it just a little bit. I mean, I've been surprised in the Continental Classic. Kyle Fletcher's taken 2 losses, one to Pac and one to, oh God, I hate this guy, Mike Bailey. And
Hong Kong Fooey.
well,
he's like a live version.
You'll know this
Power
one because I forgot who it was, but Danny had a name for him. But you haven't been on here since he's been in all Elite. That is Dirk Diggler.
Yeah, okay.
That is Dirk Diggler.
Yeah.
Shit.
He's just Kevin Knight's got personality. Mike Bailey's just kind of He kind of reminds me of a combination of a Power Ranger meets the Karate Kid. And give me, I'll come back to this, but Mike Bailey's just kind of.
You're describing Rob Van Dam. That's how I see.
That's pretty snug.
Mike Bailey is like the Pokemon evolution of Rob Van Dam, but he's only in that medium form yet. Like you give Mike Bailey
1 Pokemon.
I don't know. I'm going
6
to
years and wait.
Boom.
Well, at least Rob Van Dam had the cool factor. I mean, there's something about Bailey.
Was that when he was up here in the clouds, or was that when he was down to earth and actually being able to focus?
Either or. He still looked cool. That's all I care. That's all I care.
I would say Mike Bailey is definitely one of those people that doesn't have charisma in their voice, but just the way that they animate is very charismatic.
He's kind of like a version of TJP, if anyone knows who that is.
Oh, yeah.
The one guy that I do like is that Shiloh guy missing the tooth on NXT.
Oh, yeah.
He kind of, who does he remind me of? He kind of reminds me of Al Snow, kind of, just like his mannerisms. And I don't remember who else. And I said it last week, but I can kind of see that like Al Snow vibe going on with him.
There's a little bit of Mick Foley and Abyss mixed in there, too. So,
yeah.
But I've made it clear on here before that I don't hate the Young Bucks. I've just never found them. I mean, they're entertaining when they're in the ring, but I've never liked their. There's never really been a lot of story behind what they've done, and I think they've done well with they drew that out well for them finally to turn back and go with Kenny with the Elite, and the Elite won won that $1 million last night. They've drawn out, they're still drawing out Takeshita and Okada, for that to finally explode. So I'm waiting on that one. I mean, there's some good stuff going on there now. And, they shocked the world when Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa didn't win, when Harley Cameron and Willow won the ladies tag team titles. I was certain they were going to put them on Tony and Mina just so, because with Tony being part of the team that, they would try to use her to elevate those tag titles, but they put them on Willow and Harley Cameron, which Harley Cameron is. I love Harley Cameron. Her and that damn Sasha. Her and that Sasha Banks puppet is like when she was doing that Mercedes Moné puppet with the purple hair. Oh, that was gold. I'm trying to think what else happened in AEW. John Moxley finally won another match last night, so they're drawing that out for him to get kicked out of the Death Riders and make his his turnabout and start coming back out the Wild thing again. Paul, what am I missing?
And
Missing
remember,
MJF.
I'll be at the Now Arena on Saturday watching World's End.
Oh yeah, MJF came back last night. He got a huge pop when his music hit. Now, speaking of MJF, do we know where your boyfriend's at? We see.
He's hurt again, isn't he?
Actually, yes, we do know where my boyfriend's at. My boyfriend now is on NXT, and he took out Javon Evans.
Oh, uh-oh.
So we've kind of.
You talking about Pretty Ricky?
Pretty Ricky, what they call him.
My core. So now this is funny. So my husband's like, he goes, "Who's in the core?" So I've got the NXT core of the people that I like. Starks Page, Josh Briggs. Oh my God, I like Josh Briggs. Tony D, turns out that he went to grade school, middle school, and high school with my niece and nephew. So they're friends with him, but not like tight friends with him, which I think is kind of cool. So Tony D's in. Hank and Tank is starting to grow on me, and I do like DM Lennox. He's also growing on me, as is Dark State. And I was just talking about the core, and he's like, Starks turns heel. Now you don't like him anymore. I go, are you kidding? He's still the head of the core. And he goes, well, but Braun's frozen. I'm like, Braun's frozen because I froze Braun. Starks is immune to being frozen.
Well, you talk about NXT with that too. You know, I've always liked Tony D'Angelo because you can see the amateur background he's got when he wrestles. Yeah. And I just didn't like the gimmick because I knew it would not work on the main roster. And I didn't want him to flop when they called him up. And, you know, that whole family issue they did with him and Stax. And then, you know, the last time you saw him on TV, he's like, don't call me that. I'm not the boss anymore. There's not even a family. And for them to send him away like that, to give him a reason to be written off TV and then bring him back the way they did with that Don gimmick completely shed and gone.
Yeah, that was great.
I think, that's one of, But speaking of NXT, did anybody see that big fuck up on Tuesday?
I did.
I wasn't able to watch it.
Oh, you're talking about the Thea Hale, Blake Monroe.
Yeah, Miss Mariah May forgot to kick out, and now we got a new North American champion. But I will say this: that is some old school shit right there, because the referees used to be told, if they don't kick out, you count. That's on them, not.
Yep.
And,
so who's gonna quote that interview first? I'm not like with the other group of people I know. They're chomping at the bit for Cody Rhodes tells a story about they screwed up a match and the ref counted 3, and the quote is, that ref's trying to fuck on me. And then he storms off, and so that quote is drilled into my brain. Whenever you see that 1, 2, 3 is that ref.
So that ref fucked on her.
In my head, Jason, thanks to you, and I don't remember what I was watching, but somebody was off the top rope, and all I could think of was Mark Madden, that famous quote.
Fly, fat ass, fly.
That's it.
Yeah, did any of you guys see my Twitter where I voiced that over top of Bronson Reed doing the tsunami?
Yes, I was dying.
Really?
But, the first time I ever saw that happen, and I mean, Amber, you might have seen this match, but it was a pay-per-view, and it was after Flair had came back to WCW in 92, I think, whenever it was. And
93.
And Barry Windham had the big gold belt, and Vader was the WCW champion. They had both the belts floating around, and Flair was going to get that big gold belt back. I mean, it wasn't like he wasn't going to win that match. But if anybody's seen the spot, he had Barry Windham in the figure 4. You have people would lay back 1, 2, and then they'd set up, and you go with that spot for a couple minutes, and they get out and keep going. But Barry Windham, the referee counted 3. Windham didn't set up in time, and then everybody's just kind of looking at each other, going like, "What the fuck just happened?" And then the referee, like on NXT, he rang the bell and handed the belt to Flair. That's the first time I remember seeing that happen.
Like, as someone who used to referee, if they would tell me, if they don't kick out, you just go ahead and count 3. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I will say. If you go back and watch that match with Moxley and Ray Phoenix, and he rang Moxley's bell, with that when he dropped him on his head, but the referee stopped because Moxley was supposed to win the match. You could tell Moxley was pissed, and he yelled at the referee and told Phoenix to do it again, and Phoenix picked him up and gave him the driver again, and won that TNT title that way. But yeah, you go back and find that match. The referee's like 1, 2, and he quit, and Moxley's shoulder still, firm on the mat.
Like, I've been in those exact positions, it is not something I wish on anybody to be in, because you know someone's going to be pissed at you. Either you're going to mess up on that count, or the person that doesn't kick out is going to be mad at you, even though it's their fault for not kicking out.
Yeah.
Right.
I was in that situation on both sides of it. I counted 3 when they didn't kick out. They got mad at the person who didn't kick out. Got mad at me, but that was the finish, and you didn't kick out. And then there was no time where I stopped at 2, and that was the most embarrassing moment I've ever had. But you know that the people in the match have to be aware of the finish and when to kick out. You know, like that's on them.
Yeah, well, the last thing I'll throw at you guys, and we'll just take it to wherever. I do believe personally that within the next, it might not be this long, but within the next 5 years, that we're going to see something completely different with WWE. I don't think it's going to be anything that that resembles what we've all watched for years. I cannot remember the guy's name. He's very high up in TKO. Talking about how in an interview he did, talking about how that he needed Triple H and Nick Khan to get away from all the pay-per-views that Vince McMahon created, such as WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and start creating their own, you know, PLEs and get away from what Vince did all those years ago. And if that's their mindset, you know, it's going to be a shell of what we've all come to like. What's that, Paul?
I mean,
Keep the main 4, or even like keep Rumble, keep Mania. That's like hands down. You have to keep those 2. But like SummerSlam's a great name, and what's the other 4? Survivor Series could go to them.
Yeah, the original 4.
Those 2 have to stay. Mania and Rumble. Just the mechanism where they work. And when
Mania
they
was
work.
one. Mania was one he mentioned, and I'm like, do you know what you're trying to do to this product you bought? You want to get rid of WrestleMania?
Like, hey, this National Football League is really taking off, but this Super Bowl thing,
absolutely.
I don't think we need to worry about it too much as long as Nick Khan is there, because Nick Khan, you know, Mission Impossible reference, he's Jim Phelps, right? You'll never convince me that Nick Khan did not pull off your mission, Nick, should you choose to accept it, is to get Vince McMahon out of professional wrestling. And he did it. Guy can do anything because he knows how to work people. He gave people like The Rock and Travis Scott and, you know, all sorts of people rope to hang themselves this year, right? If The Rock wants to come back, well, not on your terms, buddy. You know, like here's how it's going to have to be. So these people from TKO, they can say what they want. I'm sure that Nick Khan is in a position to manipulate any kind of situation the way that he wants, because he's that kind of guy to tactfully and diplomatically make people think, you know, what he wants is their idea.
Yes,
he has that skill set.
That's how I knew that girl was actually hurt, whatever pay-per-view that was, when Steve Austin hit the wall.
Yeah.
And you know that you see Nick Khan himself right there at the wall with the.
Yep.
I'm like, oh shit, that's bad. And then of course they took the camera off and put it back on Austin real quick. But you know,
but he fixed it, right?
Much about it. Yeah, I'm sure
he didn't do anything about it. He fixed it. That's what he does. And he told Triple H, "I'll deal with Vince. You just keep the ship going." Like, you know, if he can do that, there's not anything Nick Khan can't do. That's how I see it.
Speaking of what you can and can't do and keeping the ship afloat, Connor, what do you see moving forward for all this?
In wrestling, or
no, just what your empire, what you built.
Oh, I hope to be more involved. I got out of wrestling. Period. I haven't, like a lot of things they're talking about. I haven't, like besides John Cena's final match. That's the only thing I know of. But I hope to be more involved with both sides, the All Zone and the Wild World of Wrestling. I don't know about any live reactions. I don't know if I could sit there and watch AEW anymore.
It's a lot, but it's gotten a lot better than it was. I was very highly critical of it there for a while, and they've started to tell some long-term stories. And
I haven't watched in a while, so maybe one night we'll
Well,
do a live reaction and see how it goes.
that just gave me the idea. What if we did some watch-alongs, but do like a roulette wheel of different companies, just so it's, you know, we can watch one show, say, oh, that's not for us, but it's like try a bunch of different companies, just kind of go nuts.
Yeah, we'll be here at 3:00 in the morning watching something from Japan.
Watching Marigold for some reason. Yeah,
I know, and we know that he's in his New Japan era, and we know that Paul gives us our tutorial about New Japan. I don't even know where to find New Japan here, and I get lost when Paul starts talking about it, and I'm like, okay, yeah.
Well, like I said, I used to watch it. I watched it all the time when it was on Access TV, when I had access to it, no pun intended.
It's like, well, beautiful segue there, but if people are interested in a different company, Wrestle Kingdom is their WrestleMania, and it's on January 4th. The card is actually it's like 6 matches, so it's perfect, kind of condensed. But I don't know, I see a lot of, like, let's use the word tribalism, AEW, WWE, fighting. But it's like New Japan's doing great on the side. And honestly, it's like the WWE network, what it used to be. So you can just go newjapanworld.com. I don't know if there's a dash in there somewhere, but if you just type in New Japan World, it'll bring up a website and it'll have everything on there. It's not the most American website. It's a little bit, I don't know how the best way of phrasing it, but it's like an Asian website because it's better for mobile than it is for.
Google, we can translate it.
Yeah, and they have in English, and they have English commentators and stuff like that. So if you guys if you've been eyeing it or like, it's on I've sort of been interested. January 4th is
what's the time on it? What time does it start?
For that event, I think it honestly starts at like 1 a.m. our time. Like roughly, I know we have different time zones here, but it's like 1 or 2 a.m. here. I would recommend don't do that. Wake up and watch it the night after.
The replay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like have some.
Yeah, the good thing about watching that the following day is you're not going to see all the match clips on TikTok and Instagram like you do with Mania and SummerSlam and AEW shows and stuff like that. So you can probably get away with maybe not hearing anything, not much.
It's a big detriment for New Japan's promotion, but it's a good thing for us. You don't see that like 1 hour later. Here's the results of the match you're trying to not watch. New Japan shuts that stuff down, which is a detriment. But for me, it's great because I know I can have the 24 hours without knowing these guys won this tournament or these people are doing whatever.
Well, I tell you what, I'll put this one on you. You figure out the time and you figure out the night that we want to do it, and I'll sit here and watch it with you. And if anybody else wants to join us, they are more than welcome to do so.
Maybe we can do it a couple days after. We'll find a weekend where it's better for us. But yeah, we can watch Wrestle Kingdom. It shouldn't be a 7. It's not like Mania. It's not like a 7-hour event. It should be 4 or 5, intermission, all that.
It's not the G9.
Yeah, that's the one thing. I know people will disagree with me on this one, but you know, where WWE went to 2 nights on a lot of stuff. You know, I've always praised AEW in their pay-per-views. They have phenomenal matches. Just for the majority of the matches on there are exciting to watch, but it's one after the other, after the other, after the other for 6.5 hours, and I could not fathom what it would be like to be in that audience and trying to stay up for every match that's trying to top class.
That's going to be interesting. Yeah.
It hurts the storylines because, so for Wrestle Kingdom, they only have a couple matches. Let's keep the storylines clean. We have Tanahashi retiring with Okada. Okay. We have Takeshita, who's the invader, oddly enough, fighting Tsuji. You know what I mean? It's like, let's keep it easy. Let's keep it clean. No goofing around. But then by the time the main event shows up, you're in it. Like I have all this energy. I'm fully engaged. It's not like, what match is this? Oh God, we got to watch Duggan fight the Bushwhackers for 10 minutes. Oh God. You know what I mean? It's like banger, done.
That
next.
sounds awesome.
Banger, done. Next. Banger, done. Next.
Now, Mr. Jacobs, are you still doing live reactions every week, or just y'all doing them occasionally?
Yeah,
What do you guys
still do it
scheduled
every
doing
week.
doing those now?
We usually do it every week, but here in the last couple of weeks, because of Thanksgiving, because of the holiday, I've been pretty busy. But yeah,
Right.
it's usually every week.
And are you doing all 3 shows or 4 shows or just one, or which ones are you guys doing pretty much every week?
Well, for right now we're doing Raw and SmackDown. Think about I thought about doing NXT whenever I'm trying to see if I can get the certain days to actually be able to do NXT. But yeah, we're covering as much as we can.
And that's on the wild world of wrestling. Easy for me to say. Check those guys out doing that. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff. Connor, Paul, and I have talked about possibly doing another spinoff show, maybe like just not a weekly thing, but like once a month. You got Paul's in Canada, Amber. I don't know your schedule, but maybe trying to get AEZ Canada back. Maybe check with Matt, see if he can't do it every week. Kind of a round robin of who can do it. From our brothers and sisters over there in Canada, despite what certain people on this side of the pond may say. We'll keep moving on that one. we still love you guys.
I appreciate that. Yeah,
the best wrestler Canada's ever had. Paul's second.
And I'm always here to help out when I can. Like say Matt and Amber, Paul. If you got anybody else that might want to revitalize AEZ Canada to talk about everything going over there. Like I said, any of you guys come across some indie people that would like to come on with Paul and I, that's kind of where we're trying to push it and reaching out to different indie talent around. He's got who do you got coming on next time for us, Paul?
Charles Mayhem.
Oh, that was the one that saw you wrestled, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. The Battle of the Behemoths.
Oh God, the monster brawl.
I have the dad on my caseload who actually goes to Oshkosh. He's in wrestling school now, and I think he's been doing it. I want to say it's a 2-year program, so he's been doing it for a couple of years. Hornswoggle is actually one of his coaches, so I can message him. Awesome. I'll see him hopefully on Monday. I'll actually see his girlfriend on Monday, but because they're one of my clients, but I can definitely leave him, Jason, if it's okay, if your contact info through Messenger, see if he'd want to come on.
I mean, you can send it to me, you can send it to Paul, you can send it to both. It don't matter.
Okay.
We'd love to have on it. Like I said, again, to me, but you guys haven't been on here for this. Paul and I have talked about it, but with the WWE moving toward the NIL program, AEW is the only other place for indie people that can go and get that exposure. Maybe now, I don't know what TNA is going to do with their WWE deal, so that's kind of up in the air. But AEW definitely likes the indie scene, and we're to go get established. Now, if they can go to AEW, get established, and of course WWE like, okay, we want you now. But WWE is no longer the place to come in for somebody that's on the indie scene. I mean, it's going to be a very rare case that WWE is going to sign an indie wrestler versus the NIL college people they're going after now. So
apparently, to add to your point, apparently they want to bring back AEW Dark, and that was a breeding ground for here's your local favorite talent. Mm-hmm. They could bring them in.
But I thought that was just a one-night thing that they did in Cardiff. Right?
I heard that too.
That's what I heard. It was just like, well, we got an extra hour, so let's call it dark. But
maybe that was the case. Yeah.
If Tony can get the TV time, or maybe
well, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up because God only knows what's about to happen. I don't know. Nobody really knows what their contract is, and with Netflix trying to buy. I mean, I know for a long time, and it's Netflix, so I don't know if WWE was able to put that clause in like they had when they kicked ECW off of TNN. But WWE, a lot of their contracts they've signed over the years was they had to be the only wrestling show on the network, and and now I know Paramount. It's become a pissing contest, bidding war now because Paramount's done come in and offered more money because they were the original. They were the original bidders, but Paramount is also going to have UFC, which is part of TKO. So, it's like what's going to happen, once whatever happens, and our resident Mayhem creator has to put his stamp of approval on it before it can happen. But they're going somewhere. I mean, Warner Brothers, not AEW necessarily, but then once they do go somewhere, what do you guys think that's mean for AEW, if anything?
Too early to tell.
Yeah.
If WWE because WWE might force them out because like they might want to be the only wrestling company on Netflix. But
Well,
they are
so that's what they did to ECW on TNN because
Yeah.
ECW had that show on TNN. Their show coming on, it was on 10 or 11 o'clock every Friday night, and when they left USA to go to TNN, which is now eventually became the Paramount Channel, they
So,
in
fairness,
ECW
ECW was on its way out anyway. And with AEW, I mean, I hate to put it like this, but they're going to have to make a decision sooner or later. If they get kind of pushed, might actually be a blessing in disguise for them, because then they'll have to kind of pick up the pieces and make something out of it, rather than just kind of be, okay, no problem, we'll keep you going on WBD. Then Tony won't learn anything.
Well,
You're saying, so Amer, you're saying that if somebody comes in and forces Tony Khan to, tighten up his storylines, turn over to booking someone else to where people, want to see this like must see TV, because when you think about, back in the day, like look at, okay, Jason, NWA, we'll go back. Amer, you'd remember this. Connor, you're too young. Paul, you're too young. Mr. Jacobs, you might be too young. But when you just think about, NWA Saturday night, okay, you had to tune in to the next episode to see what LOD was going to do, what Midnight Express was going to do. Same thing with Nitro. Okay, you at one point, 83 weeks, you had Nitro here, Raw's here. You had to tune in to see what the NWO was going to do. What were the Steiners going to do? What was DDP going to do in the war against against NWO type thing? So there were so many elements that made you want to tune in. So you're saying that if, Warner Brothers or whoever picks them up says, okay, this is what we need from you, this is how you're going to do it, you're done booking, we're hiring you a booker to make it more it would force him to actually think with his brain and not with okay, here, we'll do this. Oh, here, we'll do this.
And if that's what you're going to do, whoever's listening, Vince Russo is now working again in JCW.
Yeah,
Juggalo Wrestling.
He's back in.
Whoop.
What she's talking about.
Like this. Yeah, Danny, I'm going in that direction. Here's the thing. Sometimes people think I hate AEW. I don't hate AEW. I want AEW to succeed. Some of us here are parents. Okay, we deal with kids, whatever. If you had a child and you knew that child could do better in school, they could get A's, but they slack. And they're like, I got C's and D's, whatever. You're not going to tell that child, oh, no, it's okay. That would be bad parenting, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Okay? And where I'm kind of going with this is I want wrestling to be better. I want AEW to be better so that they push WWE, which, whether you like it or not, is wrestling. It is the gold standard. It is the brand name that carries professional wrestling. WWE is really just coasting, and I'm being very polite with that, because nobody's pushing them. Right? I want WWE to be better. I want wrestling to be better. I want AEW to be better. And it could be better if they just tried a little bit harder. Yeah. You don't have to do a whole bunch of things better. Just do a couple of things better. Well, and so much better. And the industry exactly. But this is the thing, and Tony will never do that because nobody will do that. This is human nature. You don't try to get better if you don't think anything is wrong until you fail. I don't want AEW to fail. I want Tony Khan to fail. And I want him, because he'll never fail to the point where he'll wonder where his next meal comes from. I don't mean it like that. That's not even possible in today's world.
Fuck you, Tony.
But I want him to fail and then pick up the pieces and say, I have to do better. I definitely want the AEW tribalist fan base to be failed, but that's a whole separate thing. Okay?
Yeah, so that's a whole nother.
There's my rant.
That's what I was saying. I was just as critical of it as you were. And, like I said, the last few months between like the slow burn with the Bucks turning back babyface, the slow burn of the Moxley Death Rider story, the slow build to get you Takeshita and Okada probably for the New Japan World title. There's been more than just random matches.
There are glimpses of it. Yeah, there are little bits and pieces there. I don't doubt it.
So I have a little bit of input on this topic because I find it immensely interesting. Okay, so we're talking about WWE, AEW, TNA now as their television shows. That's their MVP, their minimum viable product. They're by definitions television companies. So I think this is I could totally be wrong. America is the only country in the world where where professional wrestling companies are television shows and not what I would call professional wrestling companies.
Yeah,
New Japan, CMLL, Noah, Joshi, Tokyo Joshi, you can name all these companies, and they're what you would call a touring company.
Yeah.
So they tour around and they do all these matches, all these places, and that's how they make their money.
It's a different business. Yeah.
So, okay, why is it that when we're talking about professional wrestling, this is sort of a rhetorical question, but you'll know what I mean, where I'm trying to go. We're talking about how professional wrestling makes money, but we're sort of stuck in this antiquated 1990s must-see TV cable perspective. So it's like, okay, if AEW loses their TV deal and people are going to say if they lose that, they're done.
No,
but
they're
it's
not.
like I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying those are but it's like WWE can survive on Netflix. They don't have to have everything on, the structure that they used to have. So I think North American fans, and especially the structure of North American wrestling, is a bit antiquated. They're thinking like Vince Russo. They're thinking like the Attitude Era. Yep. But instead, okay, so I know I'm a bit scatterbrained here, but WWE stopped doing house shows.
Yep.
How are you making money? You know what I mean? If you're not a wrestling touring company, you have to be a TV company. And if TV is doing poorly, which it kind of is in theory, then you're doing poorly. Like, how many people have cable still? I haven't had it in maybe 15 years. Okay, like, so this is where I get a little bit confused because people argue about how these companies are going to survive. It's like, I think they could survive if they trusted the structure of professional wrestling companies that's been there for 100 years, instead of trying to focus on TNT can't miss. It was a great period of time, but I think it's antiquated in modern.
We've
wrestling.
talked about this before, but I'll finish off this with that. I tell you that what made it click for me finally, and I don't remember when I heard this interview, but Bischoff was asked if he regretted putting Hogan and Goldberg on Nitro instead of pay-per-view. And he come back with 100% absolutely not. And they're like, are you kidding me? As much crap as you took for that? He goes, you got to understand, we were not at that point. We were at that point an entertainment company. We were a television product. We were not a touring wrestling product. We were there to get ratings. He goes, so no, that was the right call to do for the type of company that we were. And it just kind of hit me. I'm like, holy shit, he's right.
Yeah.
And it's just that it hit me. That just smacked me right upside the face. And I said,
so I think there could be potential for a company that's a touring company that has a lot of their stuff online, because it's like Impact for a time was impossible to watch. I have to know which weird channel they're on and what. Just be on YouTube.
Absolutely.
Like CMML, all their pay-per-views are just on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh my, that takes all the work out of how do I watch this? You use the number one most useful video site in the world.
There you go.
Well, we've been here talking about the history of the program and everything else, and I'll wrap it up before I say my thank yous to all of you. I'm not going to go through all this, but just a few tidbits of today in pro wrestling history. Steve Austin is 61. Happy birthday, Stone Cold.
Oh, goddamn.
And Trish Stratus is 50. Rob Van Dam is 55. Anthony Bowen is 35. And speaking of Nitro, 30 years ago tonight is when Medusa showed up and threw Alundra Blaze's title in the trash can on Monday Night Nitro. Absolutely. And she wanted a shitload of money for that belt, and they said no. I saw that episode of Treasures. But
And look at Baldy now and look
I
at
do-
Baldy today.
I
Oh,
do
yeah.
appreciate she came full circle on her Hall of Fame speech. They pull
Yeah.
out a garbage
Pulled
can.
it out,
She
yeah.
pulls out the minute.
Put it out.
That's
and guess what she did with it
storytelling.
afterwards? She took it back home because they
Right
wouldn't
back.
pay her for it.
She put it in the fridge. That's what she.
But
Put it in the
it
fridge.
has been a true pleasure with everybody here. Danny, thank you for joining us. Amber, always good to see you, sir. Hopefully it won't be
Yes.
as long next time. The
Hopefully
5-star
not.
man
Yeah,
who
let's
keeps
see how
us
the new
going,
year
and-
goes.
Yeah. And Paul, my partner in crime every Thursday, and like I said, he's we're putting together a new show that he wants to do once a month, and we'll give you some more details on that when he gets it wrapped up. And of course, none of us would be here without the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only Mr. Connor Hayes. Connor, this is your thing, man. So sign us off tonight.
Yeah, I look forward to being on much more regularly in the next coming weeks. I am doing a lot of other things that might take some of my time, but I will make an effort to be on here more. But yeah, we'll see you guys next week on WrestleZone Unfiltered.
So
Peace.
long.